Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. Your ghost host with the most here, Tiki.
And BlueDragonFive,
And Jacob Wile too.
here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs as we recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lantern, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount tonight's selection, Phineas and Ferb. Damn it, I forgot the name of the episode. Help me out, Jacob. I'm sorry. That's the best.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. It seems like it'd be an easy name to remember. Like it's so in the Halloween spirit.
Killing a momentum here, Tiki. Sell it. Fix it. Go on.
Phineas and Ferb. That's the spirit. Maniacal laugh. Oh boy. That's right, folks. We are nearing the end of our run here on Haunted Holiday Hijinks. All good things must come to an end. It's been a lot of fun. I think this year's been a particularly great lineup. And we're back with another good choice from Jacob Wile. Jacob, this is one you specifically kind of handpicked for us. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your memories with this one?
Well, there's really not many memories. I mean, considering it did come out a few years ago.
But where were you a few years ago, Jacob, when you first saw this episode? What was your first impressions of this episode? Like, what really stood out to you?
I mean, this show, had this done, let's just say I basically got hooked on a basic Halloween episode from the first season. So you can basically say, I'm always excited for this show's Halloween specials because they always do very interesting things with them.
It's kind of like me with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They do a Halloween episode every season that has continuity, and it's really fun.
Well, I don't think they did one in the second season. I mean, they might have, but this is this one is actually very intriguing because the whole werecow. I mean, I do have a remembrance of a werecow from Dave the Barbarian, so that was kind of a.
Oh my god, I kind of remember werecows from that show as well.
Can I briefly say why I'm so delighted by the werecow?
Sure, go ahead.
I get two quick reasons. One, the very obvious one that we all definitely have some reference for. Of course, in Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Ebb, we were flipping through the book, and there was
indeed a
werecow. But here's the reason I'm really psyched for werecow. One of my favorite Deadpool issues from the series called Deadpool Team Up featured Deadpool crossing over and teaming up with a Howard the Duck villain. This Howard the Duck villain, it was not werecow, but it was something even better. It was Hellcow.
Hellcow. Yes, I remember you telling me about this.
Seriously, I recommend everyone check that out. Deadpool Team Up Hellcow. It's great. Basically Hellcow is a character who can only speak in moo against the very verbose Deadpool who keeps accidentally killing Hellcow, and it's one of the most hysterical Deadpool team ups you've ever read. It's basically that just. When I heard there was a werecow involved, they kind of brought me to the potential of a kind of a horror themed cow. So I was very excited.
Well,
moo.
Yes, beware of the moo.
All right, so I guess you guys want to jump right into it then?
Sure.
Okay, so let's go through the costumes as they start trick-or-treating. We got Phineas and Ferb Dragon, or Jacob, tell me who is Phineas and who is Ferb with the costumes. Remind me.
Phineas is Count Dracula. Ferb was a Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
The monster.
And then let's see. The dog is some kind of weird Igor thing.
Well, not the platypus.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Why did I say?
Are you kidding me? Seriously?
Why did I say the dog? Jesus.
He even says, "Oh, Perry the Platypus."
Hey, the platypus. I'm sorry.
That's his name or anything.
This is why I need to take better notes. I'm used to Milo Murphy, the other show, and I'm thinking DOG, okay? DOG is like the stand-in for Perry the Platypus.
All right, who's Candace?
Candace, I want to say she's Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. At least that'd be my best guess.
Well, I read that she was Heidi. Any truth to that, Jacob? Is she Heidi?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's not exactly openly said, but I believe her costume is inspired by that.
Okay.
All right.
Even though the joke is people don't think she's in a costume.
I think actually she looks most like Wendy, but they don't have the rights to Wendy, so they just kind of went with the Heidi type personality.
I guess that's possible. I have read the Heidi thing myself. I mean, but I honestly don't know if that's what they were going for, or it was just like a coincidence, or.
Well, they probably don't say intentionally because they're going for like a generic costume that no one's going to recognize, and despite the fact she's in a costume, everyone thinks she's not in a costume.
I haven't worn my hair like this in like 2 years.
Yes. Let's see.
What's our story with Candace?
What do you mean?
I mean, she's her stance this episode. Like, what's Candace's deal? She kind of goes into while they're walking.
Well, like her goal is to basically just escort Phineas and Ferb before they meet up with their friends, and then go to the Halloween party.
Of course. Can we just knock this into the tropes category really quick? Like the trick-or-treating, and then the teenage, older sibling who wants to go to the party.
Yeah, she thinks she's outgrown trick-or-treating, yet she does have a bag and she is taking candy. So that shows you she's kind of at odds with herself on that one.
My thought was she was just doing it to humor them.
Well, sure. I don't know. I got a sense deep down she wants kind of best of both worlds. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, it's entirely possible, and she does go to help them, and so it's like not like she's entirely.
There's hope for that Candace yet.
Yeah. So
along the beaten path, our trio join our other trio of fun characters.
Baljeeta's a daisy.
Yes.
Buford's a pirate, and Isabella's a fairy princess.
I'm really liking Isabella. I like her gags where she's just trying to remind me, Jake. I have no bearing on the series as a whole. I've just seen a few episodes, mainly the ones we've done in coinciding with this. But I've seen a couple episodes. But Isabella, she has eyes for Phineas, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. Massively so.
She has that kind of cute gag of, no, I'm not wearing a costume. I got it from the Googleplex.
He's like, oh, okay. Like he doesn't care.
I like that kid's delivery. I love Phineas's delivery.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Okay. We have a really great we have a lot of great lines from Buford.
Yeah.
This episode. I'm getting a sense Buford is regularly known for his great one-liners.
Usually, I mean, he's supposed to be presented as this big tough bully, but then he goes around in Paris he quotes Voltaire and poetry, speaks French and all that.
So he's kind of like next generation Harold, more to the bully archetype.
But I was hungry.
It's like those rare episodes when Harold became smart for an episode, then realized, well, no, Harold, the aptitudes tests were switched, but you have all the potential in the world, so we can build the gazebo. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's just.
Sometimes he's dumb, sometimes he's smart. I guess. It always varies depending on the plot, really. But he's always
sounds like Harold.
But in other regards, Buford has his own character. I love he's ranting about the orange peanuts.
Yeah.
That's good. And
did you guys ever get orange chocolate?
Orange chocolate?
Yeah, orange chocolate.
No, I don't think I've ever gotten orange chocolate.
Oh man, it was so good, and it came in peels. You know what I mean?
Peels.
Is it orange flavored chocolate? Or is it just
mythical candy are you talking about, Tiki?
I'm talking about the makers of Reptar bars. No, I'm serious. This is something from back in the day. No, it was so basically what it would be like an orange, an orange shaped big chocolate, right? But then you'd open it up and it'd be sliced, sliced oranges.
Oh.
Okay, so let me see if I understand. You're saying it's wrapped orange, but it peels, but it's separate. It's cut inside like an orange slice.
Right, and it's flavored like it's chocolate mixed with orange.
Well, is the natural color orange or is the wrapping orange? That's
no, it's all just chocolate.
That's the thing. I was thinking how in the heck can we have an orange?
Chocolate? I mean, the way I was imagining it was like white chocolate then mixed with orange dye.
Yeah, something like that.
No. It's just like a chocolate, like it's just chocolate shaped like orange slices and tasting with like chocolate. And anyways,
Well, anyway, that man, I was getting all excited for a moment. I was just, oh, that's inventive packaging, but that's not like next level candy making. Darn it!
well, I'm sorry for disappointing you, Dragon.
It almost sounds like
Good
something.
day, sir.
It almost sounds like something from Willy. Speaking of good day, sir, like I said, I was about to say, it sounds like something from Willy Wonka.
What I'm saying.
All right. Anyways,
Nothing will ever replace the Reptar bar because they turn
God,
their tongue.
nothing.
Anyway.
Yeah, but moving on, they come across this suddenly appearing haunted house. Like, you think you would have noticed that?
So let's see. This new character named Russell pops out of the leaves.
Does he come back at all?
No, him and his family are basically one-off characters, voiced by guest stars Dylan Douglas and Michael Douglas.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Well, Michael Douglas and his son.
Wow.
That's sweet.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Okay, so let's see. So Russell's like warning them about like all the zombies, the ghosts, the vampires. It's really freaking me out, man.
And how they're speaking of how their family, their names are all related to Halloween. Like Russell, like the leaves.
That's a cute joke. I like that.
Yeah, and then the rest of their names are like that too, but we come into that later.
Again, the Buford has kind of a line that kind of steals it for a moment here, where basically he's going on about the house is grim and haunting, and basically he has a light under. There's another trope for it. The light underneath.
Oh yeah, big time.
And I love that Buford calls that out and says,
the flashlight on his chin is making it really convincing.
Yeah, it's the thing. Despite how you pronounce it? Is it Baljeet?
Yeah, Baljeet.
Baljeet. Despite Baljeet's skepticism, it's like he's sold on it purely for the aesthetic alone.
And Baljeet's like, you're what do you know? You're dressed as a daffodil.
A daisy.
Well, I think in this day and age, I think we can give a lot of credit to a kid using an actual flashlight and not just shining a smartphone in their face, telling a scary story.
I would concur with that.
I'm just saying, it goes the extra mile.
I mean, I love my flashlights in animation.
Yeah.
I like good usage of flashlights. I'm down for that sentiment, absolutely. So,
all right.
Speaking of stuff I like, I love that Ferb is armed to the teeth with devices to track and hunt the paranormal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for whatever reason, he brought it with him on his costume.
I love that. It's Frankenstein armed to the teeth with ghost busting equipment. That to me is awesome.
Yeah,
he's got the handheld camera. He's got pens. He's got kind of the Geiger counter. He's got kind of the earthquake, kind of the seismic, basically the seismic rhythm device. He's got fake teeth. It's like, oh boy, he's got all sorts of cool stuff in his jacket. I would have died to have this costume as a kid. I really would have.
One thing, the Phineas and Ferb are always prepared.
And Candace wants in on the ghost busting, so this is a new one for.
Mainly because, I'm the only one who can do some busting around here.
So this is an interesting thing. Candace is a lot of character this episode, isn't she? I mean, she's a little, not in a bad way. I just mean, she's kind of in for the adventure. Usually she's like, always like going to squeal on the boys. That's kind of her usual thing.
I mean, they usually do that because, she's only just trying to basically prove that, if she would do it, she couldn't get away, which has been proven, but she's always on amicable terms with them nonetheless.
No, that's fair.
I mean, sure, she goes out of her way to bust them, but that's what older sisters do. They try to get their younger brothers in trouble.
All right.
I mean, especially if you see what they're doing, you'd probably do the same thing.
Right. Like the first episode, they build a giant roller coaster in their backyard.
And as we learned in Milo Murphy, it almost crushed somebody.
Yes, and it gave that person a traumatic fear of roller coasters.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dark. That's actually in the show?
Yeah, it's literally how the two shows connect.
That's one of the ways the two shows connect.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it connects.
Nobody actually died.
It's like the main connection, though. It's like the most obvious connection.
Sorry, I know absolutely nothing about Milo Murphy. You're telling me that's a spin-off of Phineas and Ferb?
Well, technically, it's more like a sister series that
it's set in the same universe.
Oh,
yes. It's like a sequel / spin-off because technically there will be Phineas and Ferb characters appearing in the series.
Okay. All right, so they enter the big haunted house.
And the music there kind of is very reminiscent of Halloween.
Yeah, the music for sure. Yeah,
it's like it's basically off enough where they don't get sued.
And I'm still insisting, Dragon, you need to watch the original Halloween next year, buddy.
Yes.
That's going to be your R-rated.
You know me. I'm more inclined for the documentaries on the horror films than the horror films themselves.
No. Like trust me, it's all the mood. It's all of the mood. Anyways. I'm insisting that the next finale is going to be Halloween.
Okay. Let's not get crazy. Let's
Well, be definitely be appropriate.
It would be. Anyways.
Anyway, so yes, we enter the big old mansion. The big old haunted house, I should say, not mansion, but it's really big, as we're about to find out. The lights go out. We have the old lights going out gag, where you have the old hand holding joke.
Actually, I think that's my hand. Ew.
Of course, and I love this one, but Baljeet, now he pulls the flashlight trick. Where's Perry?
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. What he doesn't realize is that it's hard for anyone to take you seriously when you're in a Daisy costume.
That's true. Just ask.
All right, so let's see. We have Perry being greeted by a slightly drunk Carl, at least punch drunk.
Yeah, I love that he travels to his base via the jack-o'-lantern. I love that. One of
the running gags of this show is the very strange ways Perry gets to his lair. There's been ones where he's just like waters himself with steps into a puddle and suddenly he's there.
So essentially, Carl and Major Monogram they've kind of
have some punch, Agent P, but just use a coaster.
They've kind of changed they've kind of switched costumes essentially. So now you have Major Monogram without his famous mustache, and you have Carl putting on his best Major Monogram impression. Neither of them doing the best job.
And one of the things I love about this show is when they call reference to the weird, definitely offbeat character designs and weird anime, weird stuff like that.
Right,
it was
right.
break. It's like I couldn't get my eyes on the same side as my nose. They occasionally do gags like that, they break the fourth wall, or they call reference to the character designs and all that.
And honestly, the thing with the Major and the organization here is it works very much like kind of the 60s Batman, where, again, these guys are completely incompetent without Perry the Platypus.
There's actually a wide range of these animal characters who help them, so it's not just Perry the Platypus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not really expanded upon in this episode, but there are several episodes, even before and after this, that talk about It's called the ALCA, the organization without a cool acronym.
I mean, Perry's got to be he's got to be getting some money for this, right?
He's definitely their best agent, that's for sure.
He's got to have a pension, right?
I think he does. I think he actually does get paid, because in one episode it was he could either they had some extra money. It's he could either have a huge bonus check or a Small World themed ride. Entrance.
Okay.
So then they went with and without his consent they went with the lair entrance. Named after Small World.
God. All right. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, so why has Perry been summoned, Jacob?
Because there's been strange slayings of grass.
Yes.
Crops have been decimated throughout the entire tri-state area.
Horror.
And also lewd cow-based graffiti.
Egad!
Yes.
60s Batman would be appalled.
The arrogance of youth.
The arrogance of youth.
And as the reporter says, thousands of innocent blades of grass have been slaughtered this evening.
All right, so then we go to basically, Perry's he's been put on the case. Meanwhile, Baljeet, he's still the skeptic in the room.
He's saying he's basically reading the ESP levels, right? And he's saying they're normal.
Yeah, I think so.
And then it's that's just normal background radiation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that supposed to be a good thing? I mean, I don't know if there actually is like normal background radiation in real life like that, so I wouldn't doubt it.
We have this really cool. I love the reveal of this character. I have a nickname for you guys. I don't know if you want to go with. I call him the Pumpkin Ghoul. You know, he's kind of a definitely got a pumpkin going on there. Aside from that, it's either that or the Pumpkin King from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's more my style. Like he's definitely got that Pumpkin King look going on.
I just feel that was kind of the Scooby Doo esque kind of antics.
I think they just gave him like a generic name of Jack O' Lantern.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what was in my notes as well. Just Jack O' Lantern, to be honest.
If I call him Pumpkin Ghoul, now you know.
All right.
So.
Well, I mean, I do like the Pumpkin Ghoul name.
Yeah.
Aren't you a little young to be hunting ghosts? Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
No, it's not that. It's like, yes, we are.
That feels such like a Steven.
No, what I'm saying. Well, okay, sorry. Go ahead, and then I'll explain.
Feels kind of like a Steven Universe joke, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Well, the thing is, like, another like I don't know if you noticed, but this show relies is based around like recurring gags and things like that. It's one of the sources of the show's humor is like the referencing of these gags and the variations of these gags.
I get kind of a flavor of that with kind of some of the recurring plot threads. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the show. I mean, that's one of the things. Like the show made it work. I mean, it did it without ever without very rarely becoming stale, and that's something that a lot of shows people give this show props for. But the point is, like, almost every once per episode, like someone asks a question like, "Aren't you a little old, or aren't you a little young, or is this wrong?" It's like, and they always say like, "Yes, we are," or "No, we're not," or something along those lines.
All right, okay, now that makes more sense. Sure.
I mean, it's like they always like say like yes, like they say the first word twice, and they say "Yes, we are," something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to your absolute. Oh my, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that's in there. That's coming back.
I mean, it's just variations of it and all over the place.
That's cool.
Yeah, and having seen like the first like half of Milo Murphy's Law season 1, I can see them kind of like the rhythm they go with those in-jokes where it's like you don't necessarily have to know about the in-jokes to get them, but you know, like once you know about them, like let's say something like pistachios are going to be a lot more meaningful in Milo Murphy. Anyways.
So my brief description of their gags aside.
It's basically the kids are on the run from Jack-o'-lantern and or the Pumpkin Ghoul. Meanwhile, at Doofenshmirtz Incorporated.
Yeah, another recurring thread, another recurring gag, his jingle.
Yeah, I know that much. The Doofenshmirtz stuff is some of my favorite stuff, and the few episodes I have seen. Just guys.
Doofenshmirtz is a good reason to watch this show.
Is he voiced right? Is he voiced by Dan Povenmire? Or is he voiced by someone?
No, that's him. The Dan Povenmire voices him.
Good. So, again, we have kind of a running theme tonight, let's say. So we have Doofenshmirtz. He's chained up, and he is explaining. I
have a perfectly good explanation for this.
I recently declared a war on grass.
I love that line so much, by the way. I've recently declared war on grass.
it's like you don't really know. You really don't need to know why. It's just.
It's the most ridiculous. It's like I have seen so much Kim Possible, so much ridiculous Dr. Draken plots, and I tell you, seeing mad scientists come up with their plots, their take over the world schemes, even when we see they're not so A material, I gotta tell you, they're Z material. In this case, come on, war on grass. So funny.
I mean, honestly, I would like to know his reason, but he doesn't explain it.
What do you know? It gets everywhere, and I'm trying to golf, and it keeps popping up.
And he doesn't. And he actually doesn't try to take over the world. He has smaller goals with the whole tri-state area thing.
Yeah. So basically, just the big line here, he turned himself into a cow and trying to win the war on.
In a way that's very similar to Were Rabbit. Honestly.
I know, right? Yeah.
Basically, he wanted to mind control the cow, but then it ended up like with a glitch where he was.
He woke up and he had a strange sensation of licking salt. I've been watching, and the thing is, I've been watching the Pasture trial more than usual.
I love the more than usual edition.
It's like,
No, I don't even get to enjoy Halloween. That's totally my thing.
That's great. Again, that was the moments I lived for with this Doofenshmirtz character when I've seen him. I just love that. He's so mundane. I love the mundane. He feels it's like Mojo Jojo meets Dr. Draken a lot with Doofenshmirtz.
I could see that. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
What's funny though is on the Christmas special, he actually admitted that he doesn't like Halloween.
Well, I guess he's around on it.
Who knows? This is probably why he doesn't like Halloween anymore.
That would make sense. All right, so basically pulling kind of a Curse of the Were-Rabbit, trying to basically control cows. He's now turned himself accidentally into a cow after discovery, and he is not just a cow; he is a were-cow.
Yeah, the transformation was actually very well animated.
Yes, it was. Of course, the weird udder bit.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't actually a lot of cutaways where they could have easily. Well, they did a cutaway later, but they actually did, or they could have done it in shadow. Which, I'm actually impressed that they actually managed to show the transformation in a way.
Yeah, the majority of this episode, basically our B plot of the episode, is the were-cow on a rampage.
Yeah, so it's like, what'd you think of this song though?
Were-cow.
Were-cow on the rampage.
Hold on. We have to mention when were-cow breaks through the building, and then the guy on the security booth, he's like, 3 more years until the pension checks in, and then I am so out of here.
He's not even fazed by that anymore.
Yep.
And then that foreign couple that says it used to be no monsters in America.
So I tell you,
and the song is actually sung by Dan as well. That's him singing.
That's a regular thing, isn't it? Isn't he usually singing a lot of these songs they play over montage sequences?
It's like either him, Swampy, another the composer Danny Jacob, or some other people.
Okay. Here's the thing. This episode, I'm not over the moon with this episode because I'm not crazy to have the What?
I said pun.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Anyway. The reason I'm not over the moon, worst pun, is I'm not crazy how these stories are. I think the were-cow feels more filler than it should be. I know it's a B plot, and I get that. I'm not crazy how we're just kind of integrating running away with more running away. It just doesn't feel really as varied as it could be. I'm not crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's the editing or something. Maybe the fact that the were-cow thing doesn't necessarily have a resolution. That's just something I really wasn't kind of thrilled with watching the episode. At least I didn't hate it, but I was like, it could be better.
Well, you guys wanted one that was on Halloween, and this was the only one that they have several Halloween specials. This is the only one that actually takes place on Halloween, so
yeah, I
thought it was a good suggestion for that.
Sure, but yeah, I was saying we have 2 equally good Halloween plots. I honestly I would follow either one of them. One just feels like an extended Scooby-Doo chase.
I think this it definitely feels like this episode could have been stretched out to 22 minutes pretty easily.
Yeah,
with all the stuff going on with it between the were-cow and the haunted house stuff.
They probably could have, but they probably didn't have the opportunity to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they didn't have the opportunity. Yeah, I'm not blaming them. I'm just just feels like there's a little bit more potential there with the. And I agree with Dragon. The ending of the were-cow storyline, which we'll get to, is well, what am I saying? It's not an ending. That's the problem.
So let's see. We do have. Here's one I'm a little in conflict with. Is we do have funny gags with the were-cow, but again, basically I think we get 2 montages with the were-cow. We really just could have used one in a resolution, but we have he's going to the supermarket. He's the were-cow going into the supermarket drinking milk. I think is a funny gag. Of course, his parents slipping on the milk. He's going to a petting zoo. I love the locations that the were-cow chooses. And there's a big missed opportunity of a cow pun in this episode, which we'll get to. We'll get there. All right.
They always try to avoid some obvious humor in these kind of things. Another thing of their humor is built is they build up obvious jokes and they completely subvert it later.
Right.
You probably see Tiki. You probably recognize that in Milo Murphy.
Sure.
Let's see. So the gang, meanwhile, our gang of young protagonists here, they cannot escape as they run as fast as they can. They cannot escape the jackal.
The floor gives out, and no, it is not the Doug haunted house, and there is not a weird mirror under the floor. It actually.
And it's not
It's an
Spy Kids either.
And it's an entire separate cemetery with another house in the downstairs.
That's just kind of a creepy twist I really liked about this.
This is a really poor use of interior space.
One of my favorite lines too.
It's like priorities, like worrying.
I also love how we get like the reveal of all the monsters, and one of them is I'm not a ghost, I'm a sheet that lives. that cracked me up. That might be my favorite gag in the whole episode.
Yeah, we got our sheet ghost, and we got some projected ghosts, and of course the ghost that's not actually a ghost, but he is a living sheet.
Yes.
Then we get some pretty intense zombies for a kids show, I must say.
Yeah, I love how they kind of emerge from the water, kind of like the army guys from Toy Story. The muddy ones from Sid's backyard.
When I think of zombies and water, I always think of Castlevania, because Castlevania has those weird mer people in the water levels that kind of look like zombies. But I digress. Anyways.
I wonder if they'll do that for the animated Castlevania series.
Well, so far we haven't seen them, but the first season was very short, so anyways, who knows?
Wasn't there a cucumber sandwich line in this?
When the zombies were talking about their wanting various organs, like brain, spleen,
pancreas.
And then the last zombie's like, I don't care for organs, but I love a cucumber sandwich.
But I do prefer a cucumber sandwich.
Yeah, it was funny. Meanwhile, a news anchor is warning of the as they run through the water. They're now avoiding new zombies that are popping up and all over the place. There's a news anchor warning of the werecow, which of course leads to pitchfork and torch. We have this great gag about the pitchfork and torches. Remember what is, Jacob?
Oh yeah, it's like this couple is watching it on like a TV out in like a store of some kind. It's like guy brings out a pitchfork, woman brings out. It's like, you really brought a torch on our date? Hello, pitchfork.
It's always nice to come prepared for a date.
Yeah, it's like what's a date without angry mob gear?
You remember that one time, you date a Frankenstein, you never forget it. It's like, oh god, what did I do? She had this hair popped out. Oh god, it was a Marge Simpson nightmare. So, meanwhile, oh yes, Doofenshmirtz, he comes to. He pleads, "Barry the Platypus, help me!" He begs for his help before again, really wacky weather as the clouds come back, and then they part ways again. So now he's a werecow again.
Cue the song.
Well,
the angry mob gives chase.
They're gonna poke you with some rusted metal.
Yes.
I love that while they are an angry mob, they do abide by the traffic lights.
Yes.
I love that it's a mob.
And that's something that 60s Batman would approve of.
And they even have water for marathons.
Citizens, I can't encourage you to take part in the mob mentality, but if you are, I do encourage you to follow your traffic, your traffic and road safety regulations.
Oh,
I can totally see Adam West saying something like that.
Gosh, Batman, you're right. Road safety is important to
Even after
to any mob mentality.
Even after you're chasing a man bovine.
Now let's go get that werecow. Well said, old chum.
All right.
Okay, back on point. So yes, chase continues. Let's see.
They burst through this cooking show, and all the angry mob gets covered in flour, like lots of flour.
I think we passed the ballet thing. That was the missed opportunity I was talking about. He didn't jump over the moon. He just kind of burst through the set, and he was like, "You causing chaos."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like saying it was a giant full moon, but you imagine Cal jumped over the moon. It's like it's right there. Yeah. He can jump over.
Well, it would have been, I mean, kind of too on the nose.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so back to our pumpkin ghoul, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So
it's got him cornered.
Yeah, and like Vinny comes up like, wait, if you were a pumpkin, if you're a ghost and a pumpkin, what were you when you were alive?
Smart question.
Even though apparently he's never heard of possession.
But it turns out he wasn't alive at all. He was an audio animatronic.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum.
What
Also,
audio animatronic? That's right.
I love that. I love that Ferb pulls that. You know, the Ferb kind of pulls like kind of a Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi when he just kind of tosses it. He just tosses it at the head there. Tosses a skull of all things at him. Just I was kind of very reminiscent.
He's always good at what he does. He's kind of a savant.
Yes. All right. So we reveal the parents.
Waylon and Mona.
Was it Malin or Waylon?
Waylon. You know, like
That's cool.
you like Waylon
Yeah,
as in, like,
Waylon Spear.
you like wailing as in the Halloween.
Yeah, I got you. That makes a lot more sense, right? That's cool.
Yeah, like voiced by none other than Michael Douglas.
Right.
Which is awesome. Hank Pym himself.
Indeed.
Okay. So basically, we have kind of like the Scooby-Doo, like, how did they do it? Darn it. Yeah, it was basically where we, the frequency emitter basically was why all the gear was set off, making them think, okay, it was actually, place was actually haunted. And of course, everyone's very impressed by the inventive Halloween trick that the family pulled on them.
Yes.
Candace wants to get to Jeremy's party. The kids ask for one more trick. Come on, one more trick. And the parents would love to comply, but they're out. I mean, how do you compete with like a giant bottomless second floor with water zombie? How do you top that? And just as they ponder that, what happens?
The werecow comes in being chased.
By flower ghosts.
By flower ghosts, yes.
Ooh.
Ooh. How do you do it?
Smoke and mirrors. They all wave goodbye, and so that's the end. Of course, a werecow story gets no resolution, which is an issue.
I mean, it's like everything will be back to normal by the time it goes back. So it's like a resolution off screen. That's how I always viewed it.
I mean, sure, but also I do love the ending we did with our A story though. With we have the classic.
Oh yes, this is great. I love this.
Take us through, Jacob.
Okay.
Well, they bid the family farewell, and as they exit the mansion, but then they turn around and realize it's gone. The house is gone. Turns out it was somehow an inflatable house the whole time,
which is awesome.
And they're just packing it up. And then they're like, as they walk away, Phineas like, isn't this about the time someone turns into a ghost or something?
In one of these.
And I love this. Like they stare at the family, just kind of with a pause, and just like they're waiting for it, they're expecting it. That's it. Okay. And again, this kid's so polite. Okay, see you next year. Great.
Now I gotta think that's some sort of a nod specifically to the creepy episodes of Hey Arnold to a certain extent.
Well, it reminds me of Toy Story of Terror a little bit, but that's just me.
I wouldn't be surprising considering Dan Bobenmeyer directed a lot of episodes of Hey Arnold.
Which is true.
I'm just saying, like, down the road, like, has there ever been any creepy episode of Hey Arnold that hasn't ended, like, with an ambiguous creepy freak out? Like a supernatural fake out?
Let me think.
It seems like it's a pretty running trend with those episodes.
As far as I've seen, all of the ones I've seen, like, did have an ambiguous ending. It's like where they believe it's fake, like they came across evidence of it's fake, then they realize it's like, then as they're walking away, we've revealed that it's true.
There's only one that may or may not. I can't. There's only one that doesn't come to mind right now with having that ending. The Arnold visits Arnie episode. Did that end?
Well, that doesn't really count.
What do you mean that doesn't count?
I mean that's like more like weird, like disturbing, creepy. I don't know. I don't really consider that part of the. Because there's no supernatural twist to Arnold versus
in
Arnie.
that case, then yes, all of them end on that ambiguous kind of like, are they a ghost note?
Because Arnold Visits Arnie is more like a psychological, like, thriller than anything else. It's not really a horror-based element.
I mean, even the Arnold Halloween, it ends on a creepy note, not like an ambiguous note, but it ends like the whole, we have the ooh, as we have like the jack-o'-lantern on top of the water tower for the Halloween episode. But that's
right.
It's still like they pull a flourish like that. It's not the same thing, but it's close.
All right.
So then, yes, Tiki, you were right. Every episode does end in that way.
Yeah. Okay, see you next year. All right, final thoughts, everyone?
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Tiki?
I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit more optimistic about it than Dragon is. I like more things about it, but I do kind of have similar issues that Dragon does, specifically like how rushed the werecow stuff is. As Dragon said, I think like the second montage could have been like, we could have used that time for more closure on the werecow. I mean, I get that the werecow is like a silly B plot, but I mean, come on, man, he's awesome. We've already built up the awesomeness of him, so
It's a lot of chasing, it's a lot of. I don't think we did nearly do enough with the. I don't think we nearly did like more. We could have done more haunted house stuff. It was just more like it turned into kind of an awesome kind of chase in the bottom of what kind of ceases to be a haunted house. But it's. I don't know. I just think it was enjoyable. Like I wouldn't mind watching it again, sort of thing. But it's not something I would go back to a lot. It's like it was. Yeah, it was a fun kind of Halloween themed way to kill 10 minutes. It was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well,
Nice.
I mean, that's kind of what I was going for. I mean, like, this isn't even one of my favorite Halloween specials. I mean, if I want to go for, as far as the Halloween special goes, I would, I mean, none of them really ever take place on Halloween. Like I said, this is the only one that takes place on Halloween. There's like, where they actually build a haunted house to cure Isabella's hiccups, which maybe we can do another time. I mean, even though the haunted house really comes in like only in half an episode for that. Yeah, there's another one where it's like basically an anthology series where there's different stories told, but it's not doesn't take place on Halloween. And also a tribute to Dawn of the George A. Romero's Dead series with Night of the Living Pharmacists. So they have quite a few selections to choose from for Halloween here.
All right. Well, we did just kind of like, it seems like the most baseline one, which is like it takes place on Halloween night. It uses, just to quickly go over some of the tropes, of course, we get the trick-or-treating, we get the teenager who wants to go to the party, we have the haunted house.
Yeah, we got the werecow, we got
of course, the werewolf,
the angry
mob.
Yeah. Flower ghost.
Undesirable candy with the orange peanuts.
We have the Scooby-Doo reveal with like how they did. This is how they did it.
Of course, the play on the ambiguous ending.
The robot reveal.
Mm-hmm.
I always enjoy this episode. I mean, Phineas and Ferb is probably my favorite cartoon of all time, probably.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I mean, even as far as regular episodes go, this probably isn't even one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But they only have a few select Halloween specials, and I already told you which one my favorite was.
All right.
But I mean, I still enjoy this episode immensely.
All right.
All right. Well, folks, that concludes.
Hold it. We gotta tease the next one.
Oh, you're right. Well, Dragon, it's this is an important one for you. So why don't you do the honors, my friend?
Jacob, anything else to add?
I was going to say, technically, it's also another similar Halloween-themed episode, even though it doesn't take place on Halloween.
Okay.
Which I forgot to mention, where Candace believes she's a vampire.
Okay. All right, folks. Oh boy, this next one's going to be so fun. It's going to be great. It's one that connects to me it's from a show that connects to me very deeply. It's kind of it's the only thing that could rival my love of Batman the Animated Series. The only thing that could be. It's in the same league. They're like kind of brothers at arms in a way. They're kind of like the brothers that came up together with in terms of my animated kind of show love. But let's just say it is one of Spielberg's Amblin shows. I think it is definitely needs to be revisited, as all the Amblin shows kind of need to do with them. It is very tied in to what our finale.
Oh yes, very
is
much
going to
so.
be. Essentially, this, folks. There's the main tease I'm going to give you, and then we're going to go off. Here's that. This is the ultimate prelude we could have to the finale. This is like this is the penultimate.
This is like the cartoon before the feature film.
Yes, this is like kind of the best penultimate finale we could have to our finale, and it ties in so fantastically, and it's you're gonna be so pleased with it.
All right. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Dragon. All right, well, folks, that concludes our spooky selection for the evening, and our spirits grow weary. But don't worry, they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday Hijinks.
Moo.
Could I still play the platypus?
I'm a sheet that lives.
Moo.
What on grass?